ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Teslayer channel. So today's episode is to buy or not to buy. So that is our question. So as many of you know, Tesla has lowered their prices again. They went back down to the same levels they were in January. So they did another price cut. They raised it by 2,000. They brought it back down as of last week. So many of you are probably on the fence about whether you should pull the trigger. So my advice is, if this is something that you can afford and you've done your homework, then you know what, this is a great time. I don't think they're going to lower the prices any further. You never know. But the fact that they raise it and lower it right back down to where it was, chances are they're going to keep it at this level and then raise it again after some time. So if you've been doing the research, you've done your homework, go right ahead. Now for everybody else that's kind of on the fence about an EV like I was, what I'm going to talk about today is whether you should actually buy an EV and a Tesla in particular. So we'll talk about the pros and cons. Now the very first thing to remember is the very first thing that people have anxiety about is the range. So EVs, unlike gas cars, you got to worry about where you can charge. Now, fortunately, Teslas are the best for this. Their range is very good, and on top of that, they have the best charging network. So the car will practically just steer you. You set your navigation. It'll take you to your destination, and it's going to plot where you need to charge. Most EVs will do that, but the Tesla, because it's got its own network of chargers, it's going to take you to its own network, and a lot of those chargers will charge very quickly. So usually about 30 minutes or so will get you enough juice to keep going. So in that case, it's very good. But now with the range anxiety, another point that a lot of people don't consider, even though they say that the car can run 330 miles, what you got to keep in mind is that's if you fully charge it. Now Tesla and most other automakers recommend that you don't charge to 100% to preserve the battery. So what that means is they recommend you charge your car to 80%. Now, if you buy a Tesla long range and you charge your car to 80%, your 330 mile range has gone down to 264. So, that's a pretty significant drop if you ask me. And then if you get other options like the performance model and the bigger wheels, that's going to drop it down even more. So we'll just assume that you got the best range and you're going to keep it at 80%. So 264 is going to be your max that you can get if you want to prolong your battery life. Now, if you're not looking at a Tesla, you're looking at other cars, the Ford Mach-E and some of these other EVs like Hyundais and all that. Keep in mind that a lot of those have even lower range. So those cars, some of them have as low as 220 miles. Now you take 80% of 220, you're barely hitting, 190, 200-ish. That's where you start to get to the point where, okay, I'm only going to be able to drive a short amount of time before I got to charge, and then I got to spend a significant amount of time charging. So in those cases, I don't know if it's really worth it. But, if you're doing a lot of city driving, a lot of local driving, no problem then. You got no issues. But for long range, yeah, I definitely think that Tesla still have a leg up for most over most EVs. Now, one more thing to keep in mind with the range anxiety, the range actually goes down depending upon the temperature. So higher temperatures and lower temperatures will cut your range. Also with whether you're going uphill, same thing with a car. You have a gas motor. When you go uphill, your mileage goes down. When you go downhill, your mileage goes up. Same thing with an EV. So that's going to impact your range pretty significantly. The temperature is a big thing though. So if you live in colder climates, you're not going to get close to the 330 or the 264 miles that they rate it at. So keep that in mind. Now, the third thing I want to discuss is charging. So a lot of people, if you have a house, you can put a charger, as long as you have a 200 amp panel, you could put a car charger in there and you'll have no issues. You charge at home. If you have solar panels, even better. You'll be running the car for pennies, very little money. For everyone else, if you don't have a house, if you're living in an apartment, you really want to reconsider whether the EV life is for you. And what I mean by that is with an EV, the charging time is not like a fill up time. You know, when you fill up your gas, 5 minutes max, you drive to the gas station, you fill it up, get a good 300-400 miles of range on that, you're good to go. With an EV, you're going to have to go to a charging station, and it's going to take you a minimum of 30 minutes, and that's not even for a full range. You know, depending upon how depleted your battery is, you could be sitting out there for an hour. I have a friend that's got a Tesla Model 3, and you know, he lives in an apartment, and he has to go and charge his car every other day at the mall, and he typically goes late at night, right around 11 o'clock. You know, and he sits in his car. You know, it's great on the Teslas. You can get Netflix and that type of thing on the screen, so you can keep yourself busy while it's charging. But is that something you really want to do? Do you want to sit at a charger 11 o'clock at night watching Netflix in your car? Yeah, I don't think, me personally, I would never do that. I would rather just fill it up at the gas station and be done with it. If, you know, fortunately, I'm able to charge it at home. I have a charger installed as of this point. So I don't have to worry about that. I put it on overnight. By morning, it'll be done. No worries. But if you're living in an apartment, you really need to reconsider whether this is the lifestyle you want to have. If you're okay with that, great. You know, then be my guest. But I think for women, this could be kind of a risky scenario. You know, do you really want to go out to a charging station at night and sit in your car while it's charging? Other friends that I know that have the car, what they'll do is they'll go to their gym. They'll charge it up for an hour or two while they're at the gym. So if you got that lifestyle, great. You can fit it in. But this is not a car that's going to allow you to be flexible. You have to revolve your life around the charging of this car. So keep that in mind. So if you haven't thought about that, think about how you're going to get it charged. Think about what you're going to have to do and the sacrifices you'll make. An hour of your time every day or every other day, it's worth some money. You know, even if you make $20 an hour, do you want to spend that $20 sitting in your car charging it? So that's another thing that's very important. Now, the other question that I had when I was considering buying a Tesla is how much is it going to charge? Is it really going to save you money over filling up at the gas station? So one way that I've kind of looked at this, so if you charge your car to 80%, you're going to get about 264 miles of range. Now, the thing with electric cars is, and most lithium batteries, you don't want to deplete the battery down to 0, you know, because that'll affect the range. You don't want to charge it up to 100 because that'll affect the lifespan of the battery. So you want to charge somewhere between, I would say between 5 to 80%. So just to give us a round number, let's just say that we wanted to charge the car to 50 kilowatts. You know, let's say you depleted it 50 kilowatts. So 50 kilowatts to charge. If you charge it at home at night, at least where I live, it's about 18 cents a kilowatt. So 50 kilowatts will cost you roughly about $9 to charge at home. And for that $9, you'll get approximately, you know, 260 miles of range, you know. Probably a little bit less, but let's just say that much. Now, if you charge at one of these charging stations during peak times, it could be as high as 40 cents or more. So if it's 40 cents a kilowatt, you know, you're going to end up spending roughly $20 to charge. So, you know, it's still cheaper than a gas car. So just for comparison's sake, something with about the same size as a Model Y is a Honda CR-V. Honda CR-V has a 14-gallon gas tank. Its mileage at worst is 27 in the city. So what that means is you can get about 378 miles or so of range. That's on a full tank. But, you know, it's a lot easier to fill that up. You get more range. You know, let's take that out of the equation. Let's just say that you want to get 270 miles out of a Honda CR-V. So in order to get 270 miles, if you're getting 27 miles per gallon, you're going to need about 10 gallons. So where I live, gas is approximately $4.80 a gallon. So times it by 10, that's $48. So you're saving more than half compared to a comparable gas vehicle. So it is significantly cheaper. You'll save about half, half the cost of refilling as opposed to gas. So, but again, you have to weigh in the convenience. If you have a home charger, no problem. You'll save that money, and if you got solar panels, it's free. You're driving for free. If you have to go out, spend an hour to do this, you make $20 an hour. You pretty much, you're looking at about $29 at best, or $40. So you're really not saving that much over a gas vehicle of similar size, and the inconvenience is definitely there. Of course, the cool factor is not there with the CR-V. The Tesla has more brand. It's going to cost you a lot more, though. You're looking at a difference of $35,000 for a CR-V versus $60,000 for a Model Y. So is it worth it? Well, you decide. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out, with Teslas, the insurance costs are significantly higher. The car is more expensive. Your insurance is going to be higher. The other thing to note is the parts are hard to get on these cars. So if there's any repairs because of an accident, it's going to cost a lot to fix it. So the insurance companies know this. Your insurance is going to be dramatically higher. I don't have mine yet, so when I do get it, I'll kind of have a better idea how much difference that is. But as of now, I know that a lot of friends that have it, they do pay a lot more. The other final consideration is registration. So in a state like California, we pay a lot of taxes on our gas. That's to fix roads, to build more roads, that sort of thing, maintenance of roads. You don't get that if you're charging, right? There's no tax. So what they've done, kind of sneaky, but hey, they need to keep the roads good. They've made the registration costs significantly higher on Teslas and electric vehicles. So, a friend of mine, he recently paid well over $900 for his Model 3, which is a couple years old. By comparison, I remember when my Lexus gas engine 6-cylinder, when that was new, didn't pay more than $500 registration for that car. So it is double at least. And I don't know how they decrease the value or decrease the price of the registration over time, but at least at the start, it's a lot higher. So not, it's over the year. It's once per year that you pay the $900, but still, it's something to consider. It does negate the benefit. So again, if you are okay with the charging time that it takes, if you have a home charger, you're okay with the cost, pull the trigger. You're not going to get a better opportunity if you love these Teslas and you love that lifestyle. If you're living in an apartment, you're not sure when you're going to be able to charge, or if you're going to be able to charge, or this is your only car and you absolutely need it to be charged, you may want to reconsider. Now, it's not like a gas car. Again, you wake up on a Monday morning, you realize you forgot to fill up your car and you got to go to work in the morning. Stop at the gas station, put 3 gallons, you're done. You got enough to get you to work. If you forget to charge your Tesla and it's Monday morning, you got to go to work, you're not going to get anywhere in 5 minutes. You're going to be late to work, because you got to charge this thing. So just some thoughts for you guys to keep in mind. One other bit of news. We did find a Model Y local stock. So we're hoping to take delivery this week. So I will have more videos up as soon as we get that. Other bit of news, we did get our solar panels put up, so hopefully that'll be a whole other video. Still kind of working on stuff about that, trying to figure out how it generates power and what the numbers all mean, and hopefully I can give you a little better idea of how that works as well. So thank you all for watching. I got 1 subscriber still, and thank you to my wife for being that 1 subscriber. Anyone who benefits from my videos, hey, I'm glad, I'm very grateful that I could help you. Please subscribe if you do like my content. It gives me a little thumbs up, gives me some motivation. I'm still going to keep putting them out, so you may as well subscribe and if you watch them. But anyway, thanks again. Hope to see you next time. Take care.